welcome to Killer Kitchen Chronicles, episode 2. We are doing the dessert menu tonight and discussing the Lizzie Borden house. If you are unfamiliar with it, you should probably go visit it because it's really awesome. My suggestion is, though, go on a weeknight because, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get more access than just renting one room for the night. That happened to us, and it was awesome and way cheaper than renting out the whole house. So anyway, now that I'm telling you the tricks of the trade, great location. Clearly, I've been there. Throughout the episode, I will be showing some pictures of that and such. And tonight on the menu is crisscross applesauce cookies. Ta-da! So as you can tell, I'm still nervous. Only episode 2, so we're doing our best. We did have some technical difficulties because why wouldn't we? We're awesome and we got it this far, so we're gonna keep going, hopefully. So remember first though, before we start cooking, you always need your apron. And yes, I will be getting a Killer Kitchen Chronicles apron, and you can get yours too on the website that is up, but it's also got the PXL, well, anything paranormal and anything true crime on there. Fun aprons like Dahmer aprons and such. A great time. You should probably get on there and check that out. I'm gonna move my mic here because I'm a professional. And we're not even going to cut that out because why? We're just having a good time here and going to be making these cookies. And then also discussing the Lizzie Borden house and the case and the murders and the theories as to who had done it. Okay, and here we are for the crisscross applesauce cookies. So first, so I'm going to run through what we need and I will be putting that up on screen as well. You will need 2 cups of flour, a half teaspoon cinnamon, half teaspoon of nutmeg, half teaspoon of cloves, half teaspoon of salt, 1 cup walnuts, 1 cup applesauce, a teaspoon of baking soda that you mix with the applesauce, 1 egg, well beaten, 1.5 cup brown sugar, half cup of shortening, because that's how you have to say it. Now this is an old school recipe, which is really awesome. We came across some grandma's old recipes, and that's what we're going to be trying out. I think we came across some really awesome ones, so I'm looking forward to seeing what else we can get. Hence the shortening. And some of the other ingredients of some of the other recipes that we came across, we don't know where we're going to find them, but we're going to find them because that's what we do. And when I say we, I do have a helper here. You will hear her voice from time to time. You will see her hands from time to time. Would you like to say hi with your hands? Hi. All right, so first we're going to I'm going to mix this first. The baking soda with the applesauce, we're going to mix that and set that to the side real quick. So we'll just mix that. Mix her up real nice like that, like so. Yeah. Maple coin. Can you see it? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're going to set that aside for a second. And then in 1 large mixing bowl, we are going to put all of the dry ingredients. So we have the 2 cups flour. Because that's what makes all of this so fun. Then we have the half teaspoon of cinnamon. I can talk regardless of what anybody says. Half teaspoon nutmeg, half teaspoon of the cloves, half teaspoon of salt. Wow, those cloves are potent.
Popping.
Woo. Woo. All right, like patchouli. Is that it for the dry ingredients? It appears so. So we're gonna mix that here, like so. I can stop using that voice. Na na na. So, Carrie, do you have any questions about Lizzie Borden and her way of working with an axe? I just put her on the spot.
Yes, you did. Who was her first victim?
It would have been the stepmother, Abby. She got her, tapped her up in the room. She was the stepmom. I mean, okay, nobody really likes their stepmoms per se, or it's just a thing. I like mine. She's like my best friend, but that was a different story for them. So she I don't want to say it was a huge jealousy factor there. So the stepmom was actually doing her chores, which her chore was cleaning up the guest room, and her uncle had stayed that night before the axe murders had happened. So, what was the question? Who was her first victim?
Yes,
the mom, the stepmom. However, we don't know if it was her. There's lots of speculation as to who done it. She got acquitted. So, like I said, the uncle was questioned. There was some other axe murders that were going on at the time. So that's always fun. Expect that. I don't know what it was with an axe. There was always an axe around when somebody wanted to murder. So, I mean, there's that. It's a good thing. Not nowadays. So next, that was fun. We are going to do the the wet ingredients, if you will. So we're going to put in that shortening. Then we are going to put in the 1.5 cup brown sugar, and that needs to be creamed together. So I'm going to take a stab at that. We're going to cream this together. So the stepmom, so when she had turned around from the autopsy reports or whatever, so they said that she was facing her assailant at the time. So she was making the bed, turned around, and then got the first hit to the face or the head. And it took off some of her ear. So that's cool. So she's probably like, what? Just kidding. I should not joke about that stuff. So I should. So that happened. I'm struggling.
Now, how many times was she hit?
Now, okay. So there's speculation on that too because of like the song or the little nursery rhyme they made with that. The total between the two, it was like 29, minimal 29 times what they could get because when they found both of them, they were just hacked. Like that was that. So that's fun. Let's say some. So she got knocked down on the ground, and I think there was 14 or 17 axes to the head. Because I talk with my hands, so you guys see that. I like tried to. Yep, that happened. I'm gonna grab a wooden spoon to do this. So they said that nobody heard anything. Blah blah blah. Until later on, people. The maid and such kind of changed up their stories and whatnot. So like that happened. And then some time went by, and then the dad went for his morning walk. So that was before all that. So they had breakfast. The uncle left to do some errands. The dad went for his walk. It was a little after 10. He returned back. And he came back to his being like locked out of his house. He's like, what the hell, So it's jammed. So he's got to knock. So then Maggie's got to come and open the door for him. She gets to the door and realizes that it's jammed too. And she's like, what the hell? She even cursed.
And she's the maid, correct?
She's the maid, yep. So there's a lot of speculation between it being the maid and Lizzie or both of them together, which, nobody will ever know. So he gets to, man, that clove is like, whew, still getting whiffs of it. So he lays down, take a nap. He laid down for his nap, and then, which is, well, on the infamous couch now. That's a fun couch to sit on. They even have, like, if you go there, they have like a cutout of his head. It's great. It's morbid. It just depends on how your perception is on this whole thing. I take it as history. That's why I really enjoyed my time out there. It really wasn't to do investigating. It was to be at a part of our history that we talk about. So that's really awesome. So the couch, he was taking a nap on the couch while Maggie was in her room right before 11:10 a.m. Jesus, that was rough for me. And heard Lizzie yell, "Maggie, come quick, Father's dead. Somebody came in and killed him." So the approximate death after that, though, that was said once they did the autopsies and stuff, was about 11 a.m. So that had like just happened before Lizzie yelled for her. So, they get the police there and everything, and then they actually, question everybody, question Lizzie, question everybody. Like I keep repeating, is that they had other things going on there, other axe murders going on. There's actually a lot of famous axe murders. Not famous, that sounds horrible, but ones that we talk about and such. So this is a bigger struggle than I thought it was going to be. It's okay, everything's fine.
Tool of choice.
It is. It really is, and that's kind of intriguing when you think back of the history of it. Like, why an axe? They had so many things made out of like cast iron. Why wouldn't you just beat the shit out of somebody with cast iron? Wow. I mean, not that I've thought about it. So Lizzie, obviously, they tried to say, "Hey, you did it." So she was indicted on December 2nd. And then June 20th of 1893, she was acquitted of the charges. But also, so if you get into like the psychology of things and stuff, her reactions to certain things made people question, speculate and such. Because even like when she was acquitted, she was just like, "This is the happiest day of my life," she says, and which is crazy. And then like she was caught trying to ruin a dress that she said had red paint on it. So that's fun. She was acquitted, but, you figured that she would have moved away from Falls Creek, Massachusetts. She did not. She stayed in town and kept living her life or whatever. I thought some cool things, fun facts were, where'd they go? Oh, other sheet.
Yep, this one.
Right? Mm-mm. So the dad, at the time of his death, at that time, was worth $300,000. So in today's money, it was $9.6 million. So he owned a whole bunch of businesses and stuff and was very, very well known in the community. However, and they were rich by all standards. However, he lived very, very frugal. So like they didn't have plumbing in the house and stuff like that. And that was fully available to them. He just chose not to. He was very frugal with his money. Now, when you dig deeper, like into his business state, yes, he did do a lot, but he also had a lot of enemies. But back then, you had to be stingy with your money to have the money. He owned different properties and stuff. The girls went on a long vacation, they called it, because of their hatred for their stepmom. But the dad was giving, the money and inheritance and stuff like that to her and her family. Now, there's the sisters, Emma and Lizzie, and then there was one Alice. Alice, so she died very young, 2 or 3. I could be wrong. Do not quote me on that. I have done this story so many times, and you would not guess that by the way I'm trying to tell it now. But their mom had passed away, and it was only a few years after that, and her name was Sarah. It was a few years after that he married this other gal, Abby, if you will. Now, she hated her so much, Lizzie hated her so much that she would not call her mom. She called her Mrs. Borden. or stepmother. She just stepmother. Now Lizzie was known. She was an aristocrat, so she was like known to going to like the town parties and stuff, and flirty, and she. God, there's another term for that. A spinster, if you will. That's the term I'm looking for. She had no signs of wanting to settle down or anything like that. She was a wild one. So wild with an axe. So anyway, back to the cookies. Where are we? Okay, so yep, this is creamed together. So with this though, we are going to add in the egg as well. So that's probably gonna help us cream this. You just looked at me so scared.
Delicious.
Cookies. In a second, we are going to add in everything, including the applesauce. Also, you need to preheat your ovens to 35. Wow. How about 350? That sounds more like it. So you're going to preheat your ovens to 350. And that will be fun. And then lightly grease your pan. We suggest, with the shortening, like Grandma used to do.
That's right.
Put it on there versus like the spray stuff or whatever. You already got shortening in these, but just to help keep it from sticking all together. So we're going to add in a couple walnuts here. You can actually use any nut meat that you want. I just really wanted to say that because that's what it says in the recipe books is nut meat. And I love that for everybody involved. Let's just be honest there. So this is what we're going to do, guys. We are going to mix all those other things into the dry mixture. Let's add in the applesauce and the baking soda. Baking soda. Then we're going to add in this deliciousness.
It looks like
It's like something mapley.
Yeah.
It does not look bad, just looks mapley. That is all. So yeah. So we're gonna mix this. And on my trip out there, I'm gonna bring up some pictures from my trip out there. It was so much fun. And we had Lori with us, and she even came in costume. So I'll show some of those pictures too, because we were able to, and it just so happened once she got in costume, like she looked like Lizzie Borden. And it was creepy and cool all at the same time. We're like, oh,
That's going to be interesting.
Yes. So you guys will be able to see all those pictures as well. Not all of them. There's not like a whole bunch of them. Because fun story on that trip out east, because I love to go to Boston and Salem and all those. On my way back, we were running late and we had to go through security at the airport, obviously. And then they want to search my bags because I have all the equipment in there, the cameras and all that. So we're like in a hurry. I get my bucket back, which I thought everything's in there. And I was like, come on. So I just throw everything in my bag. I fly all the way home and I put the stuff in my spare room. And that following weekend, I had an investigation. So I'm like, I got to go get my stuff. There was no stuff to be found. All my cameras, my mic systems, all my investigating equipment. I was more sad about the cameras because I had a nice camera system to get footage of things and taking, like, it'd be nice to have those cameras while we're filming this stuff. But anyway, so yeah, long story short, my stuff's in Boston somewhere, and that was really sad because that had a lot of footage on it. Just, I'm not saying like paranormal footage, well, I never got to go through it, but tons of pictures and beautiful pictures of the history and stuff. So if you do ever get a chance, go out there just for the history itself. Like I said, that's why my main reason for going to these well-known places. I don't have any, I guess, wish to investigate them. Yes, it'd be fun. Don't get me wrong on that. I love to investigate. However, like I said, seeing the history of it. because it may not be there forever. The crazy world that we're living in right now, it might not be there. You know what I mean? And I got to say, I got to see that. I got to sleep there. It was really awesome. We stayed in, if you get the chance to stay there, stay in the mom and dad suite. Then you get a side room that was the sewing room, but there's another bed in there too. So like you get 2 rooms kind of for the price of one. So that's kind of cool. Anyway, so back to these cookies. We are going to spoon them on this pan here. Oh, I smell walnuts. I'm going to need another Wiener spoon. We should get one of those cookie ice cream scoopy things. It's like a small one.
Oh, yes, with the little
Yeah.
lever that it just helps it pop right out.
It sure do. So we're just going to put these in little dollops like so. Yep, I'm using my fingers and I don't have gloves this time. But that's okay because if these cookies don't turn out, we'll just eat them. And nobody's got to eat them but us.
That's right.
And yep, they're going to get my finger germs. That's not spaced very well, huh? What was I going to say? So, there is a shit ton more history on the Lizzie Borden house. Obviously, I'm sure most of you know. This is just a mini episode for us, and our first one at that. So we're still learning, as you guys can tell. We're doing our best, and that's all you can do.
We're having fun and learning what recipes we like and what ones we don't.
Yeah, and we're learning what nut meat.
Yes.
Yep, we're learning what nut meat is. So that's fun. These are probably gonna go all together. So this is a little thinner than I would have expected, but I only say that because there is applesauce in there.
Yes.
So I'm clearly not. Hopefully nobody has OCD watching this because I did not line up the cookies.
Nope.
Because my OCD is going off the fizzle. So we will see you in 8 to 10 minutes. And we're back. So we're going to redo that to 375. What do we say? About 12 minutes. Yeah, I'm not even going to give an excuse why we're changing that, but we're changing that. So your cookies, please, should look like so. And and these are very hot. Like that. What a perfect cookie. I'm gonna burn myself. It's so good. So good. I'm gonna shut that down now. So that's a really good cookie. I've never had a crisscross applesauce cookie. That was really good. Would you like one?
Yeah.
Would you guys like one? Oh my god. Hot. Just kidding. You can't have one until you make them. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. So I know everybody's heard the little nursery rhyme they have. Now, I don't know if everybody's heard the second verse to it. So, obviously, the first one is Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. When she'd seen what she had done, she gave her father 41. So, the second verse to that is Andrew Borden now is dead. Lizzie hit him in the head. Up in heaven, he will sing. On the gallows, she will swing. Pretty creepy, right? So, obviously, I kind of asked that episode. There's so much more that goes in with that. We would be here for days and days talking about it. Obviously, go to the YouTube, all over the internet, actual books and such. You can find anything you want to know about that case. And it's an amazing case. Like I said, though, the history is what got me to it. I said I've seen the pictures throughout the episode and such like that. So, excuse me. I'm trying to swallow this cookie. So, if you have any recipe ideas, questions, comments, concerns, you can email us at kkc@writeme.com. And remember, don't yuck someone else's yum. Ever.